No, this title isn't clickbait. Sony Michel legitimately helps the Patriots defense. Let me start out this video by talking about my scouting report on Michel, and then I'll explain the title of this video. Before we begin, if you end up enjoying this content, please be sure to hit the subscribe button to get notifications whenever we upload. I'm debating making this into a series where I break down every one of the Pats draft picks, so if you want that, please be sure to leave a like and let me know in the comments below. Alright, let's talk. With the 31st pick in the NFL draft, the Patriots selected Sony Michel, a running back from Georgia. At first, I was super surprised by this pick, and not necessarily in a good way. I didn't hate the pick, I just thought a running back was kind of unnecessary, especially in the first round, and especially with the depth of this class. I felt like defense should have been more of a priority, considering we gave up 41 points in the Super Bowl. But to be honest, the more film I watched of Michel, the more I opened up to the idea, and the more I realized how much of a stud he really was. Let's start off with the pros. Michel's biggest strength is his running vision. He can often see lanes develop through his blockers before they form, and he has a great instinct for meshing with his line well, and he knows how to follow his blocks. In this play against Vanderbilt, the play side A-gap in the inside run opens up virtually immediately, and the Mike linebacker rushes in to fill that gap. However, he's a step too slow and is met by the blocker. Yet, he still has control of the lane that Michel would have originally tried to run through. Michel does a great job of staying sticky to the center and staying on the inside since he trusts his blocker to open up the second level and keep inside leverage. He sees his lane develop before it forms, and it pays off for him as he makes a subtle cut. In a different play in the same game, he does a great job of working with the blocking in front of him. In this play, he knows his target lane is the weak side A-gap. He does a great job of somewhat leading towards the strong side A-gap to bait the defense into strafing a little bit towards the strong side, and then he makes a subtle cut into the wide open weak side A-gap. Because of his faux step, the safety coming down is moving laterally instead of moving north to south, and he cannot make a clean tackle. As a result, Michel easily puts his pad level down and breaks the arm tackle. He then identifies the leverage of his wide receiver blocking in front of him, and he makes a massive cut to get behind the receiver. This move banks him 17 more yards. Smart running to say the least. Now let's shift to another side of Michel really quick. Michel's most underrated positive is his hidden strength. Most people consider the duo of Sony Michel and Nick Chubb to be a thunder and lightning combo. But Michel's far more well-rounded than just cuts and speed. He has the ability to lower his pad level and finish through defenders instead of going around them. For example, let's go back to that first play against Vanderbilt. Michel knows how to get his pads down in charge, and this allows him to break a lot of arm tackles. We see him break one here as well. Now watch. When he gets into the second level, he fakes a cut, and then just puts his head down and charges. This simple charge gets him 5 more yards. Now this isn't even an isolated incident. He's had tons of plays like this all season. In this play against Tennessee, his designated gap gets swallowed up by the defensive tackle. And despite getting wrapped through the arm, he continues the charge and gains an extra 4 yards on a 2nd and 11 to give his team a much more manageable 3rd and 4 instead of a 3rd and 8, just through pure effort. Now by itself his power is pretty skillful, but that's not what makes him a first round pick. It's the fact that he can combine this power with his quick open field cuts. Defenders really don't know what to expect. In this play against Notre Dame, the play is a fake fullback dive into a toss to the weak side. The Will linebacker doesn't bite on the fake and can maintain his edge pretty well, and he immediately starts pursuing Michel. He then charges full speed north-south with the intention of taking Michel's head off. Michel knows when to use power and when to use finesse. In this case, Michel realizes that a large defender with a strong angle at full speed will easily be able to overpower him, so he makes a quick cut to effortlessly get around the defender. Knowing how to balance power and finesse is a skill that's invaluable for a running back, and even Saquon Barkley had difficulty with this in college. Later in that same play, Michel does a great job of following the wide receiver's block, once again showing his great runner's vision and awareness, since he knows exactly where the sticks are in this crucial 3rd and 1, with less than 6 minutes remaining in the 4th quarter. And yes, Georgia was down 2 points, and yes, they got a game-winning field goal off this drive. I think a major deciding factor in New England drafting Michel is his great blocking. While Michel had some issues in college with identifying his keys and his targets when blocking, when he was actually able to successfully identify his keys, he showed some amazing form and leverage and wasn't lazy. In this play against Auburn, watch how aggressively he takes on the blitzing defensive back. This is just one example, but he did do this numerous times throughout the season. And honestly, his blocking ability makes him a legitimate potential 3-down bell cow on the Patriots. So, I've spent the last however many minutes talking about the pros. Let me quickly mention some cons so I can answer the question in the title. Con number 1. Michel was helped by his line a lot. While he is a talented runner all by himself, he was regularly only able to churn 3 to 5 yards on poor blocking plays. Most of his big plays came from defensive breakdowns and gaping holes created by his offensive line. Number 2. Michel does kind of have a history of fumbling, but this number has decreased as he's become more experienced. We absolutely love fumbling here in New England, just ask Chris Harper. Number 3. Michel has some bone-on-bone ligament issue in his knee, which could cause durability issues down in the future, but we don't really know much about that yet. We'll see. Don't really want to speculate too much on that. So now let's answer the burning question. How does Michel actually help our defense? I mean, you've read the title, you're curious. Well, I've actually kind of answered that question already a little bit throughout the scouting report. He's a bell cow back. For once, the Patriots have a legitimate 3-down back that can pound the ball when necessary, cut and bounce to the outside on stretch plays to the sideline, and he can even catch the ball when necessary. Additionally, we also went over how well he blocks, which means he won't be a liability in pass protection either, and can also be used to bump edge rushers. As a result, the Patriots can use him to ground and pound the ball against emerging smaller and faster defenses to counter the rushing and receiving running backs in the league, which means they can milk the clock more easily. This means not only does Brady take less damage from getting hit repeatedly on passing plays, but the Patriots can easily run the clock when they need to, and they can dominate time of possession. Now, time of possession means the opposing defenses have to play longer, which means they get more tired, and that reduces pass rush, tires out defensive backs, and often leads to lazy zone plays. In fact, time of possession is actually the sole reason the Patriots were able to come back against the Atlanta Falcons. Since the Patriots' offense stayed on the field longer, it meant the Falcons' pass rush and defense was getting tired, and Brady was able to drive down the field more efficiently. So if the Patriots' offense will stay out on the field longer, that means that the opponent's offense won't get nearly as much time to score, which automatically makes our defense far more efficient. Our cover 2 man defense is built to force quarterbacks into having to put together long and meticulous drives without mistakes. As a result, if opposing QBs have less time to match the Patriots' offense's output led by Tom Brady, they will be goaded into more risky plays and long passes along the sideline, both of which cover 2 man eats up. So there you go. That's how Sony Michel actually helps the Patriots defense. If you like this video, please make sure to subscribe so you can get alerts whenever we upload, and please leave a like and comment below if you really like this video. Thanks for watching, and go Pats!